All right, well, it is my pleasure now to introduce you, Christine Innes. So I know some of you know Christine. You know her because she publishes a magazine, and I think some of you already have been in the magazine as well too. So, and this is a physical magazine. So in the age of digital, Christine has got a physical magazine, and they pop up in all sorts of places, read by all sorts of people as well too. So, so definitely, analog is very much alive these days here. So she is a coach. She's an international speaker, and she's a 4 times #1 Amazon best-selling author. And she's the CEO and founder of the Corporate Escapist and a real lover of life. So Christine came out from the corporate world, and she went from being broken, leaving a toxic relationship and filing for bankruptcy. So some pretty sort of interesting times. And so now she's in a point where she's come from there, and she's really started the business of her dreams. I was speaking to Christine the other day at a networking meeting, and you can tell she really loves what she does as well too. Loves the stories, loves hearing other people's stories, tells stories herself as well too. And she's really on a mission to show business owners the power of owning and sharing their story to attract clients. So tonight, it is my absolute privilege to bring to this stage Christine Innes. Let's give her a big, rousing round of applause. Welcome along.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have done a slide. I don't normally work with slides, so just bear with me. I'm just going to make sure I get the right one. So here we go. So just...
And we are seeing your presenter window at the moment.
Okay, so I've got the wrong one. Let me go. Here we go. Presentation. I think, oh no, that's the one you want. That looks a bit better.
There we go.
So, alrighty. So I want to keep this really interactive. So I can't obviously see everyone, and I'm actually just going to make sure I bring up the chat box and that. So if you've got a question or anything like that, just drop a Q in the chat and pop yourself off mute and ask questions. Let's make it really interactive and, have some fun with it as well. So I'm going to share a lot about mastering the art of, selling with stories. And I'm such a big believer. So in 2015, like Nick said, I was actually working in the corporate world. I was climbing that, corporate shining ladder, doing what we're told to do. You go to school, you get a good job. When you go to, after that, you go and work. And then when you retire, that's when you literally have fun. So obviously the universe had other things in plan with me. So I got diagnosed with adult asthma. 10 days later, I got diagnosed with a heart condition. I then realized I was in a toxic marriage, left that, and then also filed for bankruptcy, ended up sleeping on my parents' couch, excuse me, and lost everything. But I also think that it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And what it actually allowed me to do was not only work out who I was so attached to my corporate identity, but also too, I started to watch videos. I started to learn from people. And what I realized, it was actually their story that actually had an impact on me, but also too, their stories resonated so much that it allowed me to see the possibilities with it. Fast forward, and people started to notice changes within myself and what I was doing and learning. But what one of my friends actually asked me to do was to share my story. So do a Facebook Live. I remember my very first Facebook Live, I was literally, sweat was dripping out everywhere because I was so nervous sharing my story. But that opened up to a world of what I've now created, which is the Corporate Escapist. So I had people from all around the world actually reach out to me and tell me about things that have happened in their life and how they're now following their passion. And this is when I realized that the power of stories and what we actually have, and how that then can also create a massive impact with it. So I would love to know, so drop a 1 in the chat. Have you ever had that moment where somebody is talking to you and automatically you think of a book, a podcast, a TikTok video, or someone they need to listen to or to meet, because that's going to help them with where they are right now. So just drop a one in the chat and let me know if you've ever had that moment. Cool, a couple of people. So this is literally the power of stories. So, you know, as we've all had that happen to us, what literally is happening is that there's actually an energy transference when you actually share a story. And this is actually the power of marketing. So, you know, I have two things that I'll go in, and, you know, the two things I really am really passionate about is facts tell, but stories sell. And I really want you to sort of, you know, really start listening to stories and how that they can be intertwined and actually be used to actually sell what you're doing as well. So, here we go. All right, so today I'm going to talk about, obviously, facts tell, stories sell. I'm also going to show you how to also be confident in sharing and owning your story, creating compelling content, and AI tools. So I'll just briefly go over some of the AI tools, because I know those who are involved in this amazing group, Nick shares so many things with it as well. So, you're going to love technology. Okay. So you've heard a little bit about me. So as I said, not so gracious exit from the corporate world. But with the Corporate Escapers, what I've actually created is one of the fastest growing digital media agencies here in Australia. So I've actually developed a TV show, which is on YouTube, a podcast that is now listened to in 10 countries, an online magazine, and we've actually partnered with one of the world's largest digital magazine stands. So they have a readership of over 10 million people, and also created 3 co-authored books that have all become #1 Amazon bestsellers. And this is literally how stories can actually attract. And, you know, it's literally all started from me sharing my story. So that is the first point as to I know why this actually does work, and, you know, why we also need to do that. And Jeff, yes, everyone has a story, so you do need to share it. I think that if you are not sharing your story, you are literally being the world's best kept secret out there as well. So I'm going to dive straight into it. So I love sharing this. This is something I've come up with, is like storytelling is actually the enchanting art of selling without selling. So put a 2 in the chat. Who does not like selling? Like, I'm going to put my hand up, because I'm definitely not somebody who likes to sell at all. I actually did a practice pitch today, and even my heart was racing, even though I have to do it all the time. So storytelling is actually going to be a way for you to sort of, I guess, in a way, rethink how you can sell, because you are literally sharing a story. So if you think about it, you're sitting down with somebody, having a cup of coffee, and you're going to be actually engaging with them and really connecting with them. And this is the part where you literally no longer have to sell, because you are simply being you, and you are actually creating that content. You're actually interweaving your story with what you are selling as well. Alrighty. So this is why, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, we need to share our story so we can attract our clients. So first of all, there's 3 things that we need to do as part of the selling process. It's called the like, know, and trust factor. So there is 22 to 25 touch points that you need to have with somebody before they'll even think about buying from you. Now, when you start sharing your story, you 10x that automatically. So imagine actually not having to do 25 touch points. Imagine you only have to do, you know, what's that, 12 and a half like touch points with somebody, and they're automatically going to increase that like, no, trust factor with you. One of the other things it does, it actually establishes a personal connection with your clients. And I've had so many people reach out to me going, I hear your story, or, you know, they watch my TikTok videos, or, you know, they read my posts, or they've read my stories, and they're like going, I feel like I already know you. And that there means that they've already actually got the like process. They already know me. And you know what? They actually already trust me, and I've already actually established my credibility with them as well. And that's one of the key things about sharing your story. One of the things is, let's face it, there is so many businesses. So I had a look at some stats, and I'm not a big person on stats, but I thought, okay, I'm going to go onto the ASIC website and see how many businesses actually got registered. Already here in Australia, there has been 3 million companies already this year. So how are you going to stand out? The key thing is it's you. And if you're not sharing your story, nobody's going to know why you are different. Well, why you are so passionate about what you're doing, why you are actually better. So for me, when I work with coaches, I want to know and work with somebody who's actually been in the trenches, maybe not have had like $1 million business straight up, that have had to learn all the different things. You know, I want to be able to work with people who are super passionate, and I want to know about their passion. You know, if I go and, for example, I take my dog to doggy daycare 2 days a week. And the reason why I take her to this particular dog care is because A, she only looks after dachshunds. She loves dachshunds. And, you know, she creates all these amazing little things and, you know, does all that sort of stuff. But it's because I found her and she has that passion, whereas I could have chosen anybody else. So this is why it's really important for you to really just start to understand that if you're not sharing your story, yes, you can still attract your clients, but I actually want you to be able to speed up the process so much more quicker, and also really get that trust, that credibility faster. And that's all going to come from your story. So drop a 1 if this is resonating with you and if you can feel the benefit of actually now sharing your story. Amazing, amazing, cool. Alrighty. Okay, so as I said, I don't like stats, but I'm a big, huge fan of Forbes magazine. Love it. And basically, they found that after more than 10,000 responses, that 55% people actually find stories more persuasive than facts and data. Now, yes, there's still 45% that think data is more persuasive. However, if you can see, there's almost a 50-50 split. But are you actually going to be coming across as the expert? Are you going to be coming across with getting more emotion? Are you actually going to be able to, you know, stand out in front just because they're stats? So every coach can have stats, every analysis can have stats, every business can have stats. But the only thing that's going to set you apart is you. And that's why your story is super important to do that as well. Alrighty, I'm just going to go back and just spend a little bit more time in stories. So there's a couple of real key things when doing your story. So with your story, there's a couple of really key things to do it. First of all, you want to create connection. Now, some people say to me, well, I don't have a story to share. Now, first of all, we all have a story. And it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. It does not have to be, oh my God, like me, you know, I went through all this trauma and all of this to come out to where I am. But the story is, why did you start your business? What was the reason that you decided to start your business? That is the story that you can start off with by sharing as well, because every single one of us has a story as to why we started our business. It could be the fact that you saw a gap in the market. It could have been the fact that you wanted to create more freedom. It could have been the fact that you were actually just bloody good at what you did. So you actually wanted to be able to help people. So that there is the very first story that you need to start sharing, because that is your why. That is actually going to create that connection moment with people as well. So that when people can actually hear you and go, oh my God, like out of all the coaches, out of all of the, you know, IT people, out of all the accountants, I want to come and work with you, because it's your why, it's you, it's your passion that's actually going to start to shine through with that. Like I said before, it also shows you your credibility. Authenticity helps actually create credibility. So when you're being raw, when you're being vulnerable, when you're being a human being, that is actually going to allow you to be more credible. people are over seeing smokes and mirrors. People are over seeing, everything looking perfect, because what COVID had taught us at anything is that we as a human being crave connection. And to be able to get that connection, you need to show your vulnerability. So I will get on and I will do lives without makeup. I will go on and I will stumble some days. I will get on when I am not at my best. I will get on and I'm like going, oh, and I swear like a trooper. So, there's all these different things, but it's keeping it real. And one of the key things when you are starting to share your story is that what you want is to be able to create that connection, create that vulnerability that's also going to show you the credibility. But also too, if you think about it in a way, when people see you online and they meet you in person, those two need to match completely, because there is nothing worse than seeing somebody that you've seen online and then you meet them in person and they are completely different. So as you start thinking about it, I want you to be really raw. I want you to be vulnerable. I want you to show emotion when you actually start sharing your story, because that's going to show your credibility. Then the good thing about sharing your story is that you can interweave that into your offerings. So for an example, for me, I talk about how I was learning how other people's stories were changing me, how that those stories had such an impact on me, how those stories actually turned me into loyal followers of the people that I was learning from. And then I realized myself of the power of stories. I realized that not only by me sharing my story, but also helping other entrepreneurs, other business owners share their stories of how they can actually, like no trust factor, build quickly, how that they can actually stand out online. So can you see how you can actually interweave your story to your offering as well? And then it doesn't seem like that salesy sort of pitch that you've got to go, oh my God, you know what? You need to come and work with me. I need to get you in the magazine. You know what? It's only $1,000. Just come in, do it right now. That's exactly what, it just doesn't work anymore. People want that emotion. People want to hear with you. So just let me know, is this resonating with you? Is this have you ever been, in those situations where people are just selling and you feel like you're just being screamed at? But if somebody's told you something and you're feeling it with the emotion, that you're actually more engaged to actually want to work with them or get to know them, follow them, and then you're more likely to buy from them. So drop me a yes or no. Just let me know. Be really raw and honest with me. Just let me know if this is resonating. Amazing. Cool. Alrighty. So cool. Alrighty. So a lot of people are then going to go, okay, that's all really, really great. You can share obviously your story in multiple different ways. Video, there's, writing posts, there's lots of different areas that you can do it. But how do you be confident in sharing and owning your story? So I want to share a theory that I have, and I love it. It's called the pen theory. And basically, this is actually going to help you as a business owner. So I'll use a better pen than this one. So this, just a normal pen, everybody's got it. And with the pen actually represents your past, your present, and your future. And the key thing about that is your past up here. And let's face it, everybody's got a past. Everyone's got past stories. And some of these stories may not be true. These may be stories that we've heard. It could be, our old limiting beliefs, all those different things. But the key thing as a business owner is you need to own it. Because if you're not owning it, what is happening within your mind is actually stopping you. You're overthinking everything. So for example, me actually telling people that I filed for bankruptcy was actually a really hard thing for me to do. But what was happening is before I owned that, I was basically allowing other people to write my story. I was allowing, people who I haven't even met, who, family, friends, all those different things were actually writing my story because I didn't own it. Now, you don't need to be like me and you need to share your stories to the world. But as a business owner, if there's anything that's sitting there with you that you are unsure of, that is making you feel that, oh, maybe you're not worthy enough, or maybe it's something that, it just feels like that really icky feeling with it, or something so big, the only person that needs to own the story is you. And by owning that story, what that's going to do is to actually allow you to come into the present moment. So when you hold the pen, and then also now to write your future. So the power of the pen means that if you're not owning your past, you are giving this pen away, my friend, to other people to write your future for you. And as a business owner, our stories that we tell ourselves are so key for us to own it. So if you are sitting there and you have that self-doubt, you have those moments, and let's face it, we all do. I want you to own it. I want you to stand in front of the mirror and you want to say, you know what? I hear you. Yep, I went through bankruptcy. I've been through 2 marriages. I've lived with a chronic illness. I've all these things that have happened. And I just look at it and I'm going, you know what? You are no longer the person that you were 5 seconds ago. I'm no longer the person that I was 6 months ago. And I actually need to own it myself. And because by owning it, it means then I get to write my new future. But the key thing is that's going to stop those limiting beliefs that you have from actually sharing your story, from stopping you from shining. Because a lot of the times we're not owning the past. We're not owning all the crappy stuff that may have happened. But by doing that, that's how you're going to be really confident in sharing your story. The key thing also about doing that exercise is the fact that then you can also set boundaries within yourself of what stories you will actually share with your audience and what stories you are keeping to yourself. So there are certain stories that I do not share, but there are obviously a lot that I do. But I've set those really healthy boundaries because I've owned my story with that as well. So that is a really key thing, I think, with business owners. Like, if you want to be confident, you need to own your story. You need to own every single one of it. And when you know which stories you're willing then to share, that is going to be your unique experience or challenge that you faced within your life that actually sets you apart from everybody else. So if we think about, I worked in the corporate world. I have no marketing background, nothing at all. But it was from learning from other people's stories that I learned the power of it. I heard somebody the other day that, they developed something, as skincare for their kids because their kids had allergies and they wanted something nice and pure and natural. And that's the reason why they've done it. So, they've gone through that challenge and that experience, and that is actually their unique selling point. So it's really important that we actually can identify that. But when you know your story and you can own it, that's how you really get confident with doing it as well. The other thing is knowing who your target audience is as well. So if you haven't ever done the exercise to actually define who your target audience is, I really encourage you to do that, because we all have a suite of amazing stories within us, but then maybe the story you're sharing right now may not be the one that's relatable to your target audience. So if I'm sharing about a story, that is, let's just say being a mom, it's not going to be too relevant for people who are young entrepreneurs because they may not be parents yet. So it's really important that we actually find that relatable aspect, so then we can actually identify and actually put it to our target audience as well. And like I said, just be you. It's the most important thing. If you have different mannerisms, allow that to shine through. If you I swear like a trooper sometimes. So, sometimes I will do that in my presentations. Like if I'm doing it, I won't do it here, Nick, but, it'll be, like if I'm here in a small group, I will do that. But the most important thing is like, there's no way that you can be confident if you're pretending to be somebody else. So just be you. And a lot of the times I see so many people pretending to be somebody else, and it is physically, mentally exhausting to do that. So the more that you can show up authentically as yourself, that's the more confident you're going to be, and you're actually going to have to start having a little bit more fun as well. Alrighty. So here's just a little bit. So I have put in some stats here for you as well, but this was actually, I just had a look at like emotional marketing, and this is literally what storytelling is. It's emotional marketing. So ads with purely emotional content perform twice as well compared to those with only rational content. So that's your facts. And then customers who have an emotional relationship with the brand will likely recommend that company at a 71% rate. It's absolutely huge. So when you're sharing your story, you are invoking emotions within that person and invoking that right emotion. And that's why sharing that, the right story and crafting it, that's the emotion. It's like the pain point. We all have developed products and services for our clients. And if you think about it, like for me, a lot of it is like the old version of myself. When I first started out in business, that's my ideal client. So what were my pain points? I don't know how to craft content. I don't know how to schedule. I don't know how to get my name out there. I don't know how to be credible. Like, they're all the things that used to keep me up at night. And so I've used my marketing to be able to touch onto those pain points, but not sell. It's just literally sharing a story with people as well. Already. So how can you create compelling content? Okay, so your messages are really important when we're shaping a customer's purchasing decision. So basically understanding your audience's needs and desires. So when I work with my clients, it's basically, who is your audience? Because we want to make sure that they're tapping into the same audience that we have. What are their needs? What are their desires? Like, as I said, what is keeping them up at night from that? You can use the storytelling framework, which is the hero's journey. This is something that you can actually use ChatGPT with it. If you go, tell me a story, like, right, here's my story, now frame it in the hero's journey, it will do it for you. But it's basically, why you are so good at what you do, why you are the best in the field, why people should be working with you. And it is very confronting for us to be able to do that, because a lot of the time is that we don't want to be going, I'm just doing this, or I'm just doing that. Like, oh yeah, I just love what I do. Well, actually start sharing what you love doing. And that literally is going to put you into the hero's journey as well. Like, what do you love doing? What is the best thing that you love doing? So drop it in the chat. Let's have a look. What is the thing that you absolutely love the most about what you're doing in your business? What's the one thing that you love? Audrey loves interviewing people, and she's very good at it. Watching people grow and succeed, solving complex problems, talking to people. Amazing. So, like, let's just go, watching people grow and succeed. Like, part of your story is literally going to be, like, when I it's like being a proud mum moment. I love seeing my clients when they, achieve their goals, and then now doing all of this. You can use then also your clients' success stories as part of your story as well. Cameron was solving complex problems. Part of your story could be, like, oh my God, like, I used to sit there and, Google 20 different things of how to even just do it. So now I actually want to help people solve these complex problems that are actually, helping them and, saves them time and energy, strengthening their awareness from Lisa. It just could be, like, I didn't know what I needed to know in life. I didn't know what it was. I had this moment, like, for me, like, strengthening my awareness, it was like boundaries. It was learning how to love myself again, like all those different things. Like I didn't know what self-love was. I didn't know like all these different things. So you can see how instead of just going dot points of here's a sell, you can actually use a story now, and that story is going to invoke that emotion. It's also going to take them on a beautiful journey. And then again, you're sharing parts of your outcome of your business, part of the outcome of your course or your program that you do. And therefore people are going to go, oh my God, I want that. I want to feel like that. I want that so much so. So therefore you've already done your like, no, trust factor already in telling your story. Does that help everybody? Does that sort of allow you to sort of see the way that you can, instead of just sell, you're now actually using, what you love with it? Because there's obviously going to be a pain point from probably what your clients are doing as well. And like I said, the last one down here is incorporating emotions and relatable experiences. Like it sounds super easy, I know, but if you think about the things that in your course or your program that these clients are actually keeping themselves up at night at, like with Audrey, like they want visibility. They want actually to get notice from their clients. They want to be able to have PR. They want people to have eyes on their business. They're like going, I've got this amazing event, like I can't get my word out there. Like, and so with Audrey, it's almost like going, I can help you do that. Did you know that I used to be a journalist, and like, this is how I've been able to do that. And, it's telling that story. So you don't have to constantly sell. And I still have, it's something that I'm still working on with my mindset. Like, I'm really honest with people, is that sales is not my strong point, but stories literally allow me to sell in a really heartfelt, authentic way. So that when I'm talking to people, I'm not literally going, oh my God, you've got to come and work with me. Like I can do this for you. It's like, you know what? I absolutely love what I do. I get to help business owners become visible and help them create content by using the power of their stories. This is what I love doing. And this is how I've been able to do that. And it just sounds so much more natural. It sounds more real, more engaging, opposed to, I always use the car sales sort of person, going, hey, buy this car. Like, it's really good. Like, this is the engine. This is this. Like, I'm in the process of buying a car at the moment. So this is what it's like going when I look at it. So they're how you can create compelling content. Like powerful tools. So the key things that I use, obviously I love ChatGPT. And the good thing about it is that you need to prime it. And priming ChatGPT is like, you say to it, like, I want you to be a marketing executive today. This is the details of my company. So you put all your details in there, and then it says, and then you ask it what you want it to do. So I will then ask it to, like today, I said, okay, I'm actually creating a presentation. Here are the things that I'm actually talking about. Can you create slides for it? And this is literally what ChatGPT told me to create. These are the headings. This is the content with it. So really use that. And when you're priming ChatGPT, actually ask it, I wanted to do it in a storytelling way. I want it to be fun. I want it to be engaging. I want it to be compelling. Like, if you use those types of words when you're priming ChatGPT to give you the responses, you're going to get a better outcome from it as well. I know Nick's already shared a social media scheduling tool. I use Meta Business Suite. That's one that I love using, but there's heaps of different ones that you can use. A good one that it's not actually video editing as such, but micro content. Micro content is the king of content right now. So I have a TV show, and our interviews go for about 20 minutes. And I'll keep it to 20 minutes because that's what the average travel time, transit time for people is. Now, what I've been doing is, so myself and my amazing team, we now upload it to this videoyo.ai. You can get it for free, or you can do the upgraded. You upload the video, and within 10 minutes, it will actually scroll through the videos and create micro content for you. So it will actually create cut down versions of it. So if you are sitting there thinking, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to create, I would highly recommend you to get out your phone. You record yourself. You don't need to, look pretty or anything like that, but it's literally you talking. And a lot of people have trouble actually sitting down writing. So if you can just put yourself in front of the camera, start talking and record it, you can upload it into this software and it's going to pick out the nuggets of gold that you've already said in there as well. So what it does for me, for my TV show, is that it will actually create up to 9 videos of micro content, and it highlights like myself, and it also highlights my guests of the key things or what they feel is the most interesting sort of aspects of it. So if you're ever sitting there and you don't know what to do, like I would just literally go on and just record yourself and just start talking and then upload it to it, and I'll let the AI software to actually work out what the nuggets of gold are, and it might actually prompt you of what you can actually start to share as well. Alrighty. Okay, that's it. So they're the really key things of, obviously storytelling. The key thing is be you, don't be anybody else. We all have different mannerisms. We all have different things. But what's going to set you apart is you and your story. And that is actually going to make you the expert. That's going to make you shine through. That is actually going to set you apart from everybody else. So I highly recommend that if you've never gone and done, shared your story, start with your why. Start with your why for your business, and then you can start going through it. Yeah, there's so many different things that you can share with it, but I'm happy to open up the floor, Nick, and if there's any questions, people can just unmute themselves and ask away.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Christine. Yes, if you've got any questions, just unmute yourself and ask, or put your hand up, or pop something in chat, and we'll get to that. So who's got a question, or even if it's just a bit of feedback? So I love this. That was brilliant. That's brilliant. Anyone sort of still not quite know where to start or how to get going with a story? Because often that can be the challenging thing is, what story? I know Christine sort of touched on that a bit, but anyone still got any challenges from that sort of thing, or even how does ChatGPT play a role in your personal stories?
Look, honestly, if you think about something funny that happened in your childhood, or something that funny that, even just happened yesterday, whatever challenge that you came up with starting your business, like we all have so many different things with it. And like I said, look, we have a plenitude of stories. It does not have to be doom and gloom. That's the key thing. So many people think, oh, I don't have a sad story. Well, you don't have to. I mean, imagine if you just had a light bulb moment in the shower of how you started your business. Like, what a story that is. Like, you'll be known for the shower person.
Actually, I do know someone that did it live in the shower. And it's the fact that they were just, that there was nothing risque about it, but it was the fact that they're in the shower telling the story was enough there to really get that live video going out. So that was that was like a memorable moment. Like, I remember that out of all the lives that I've seen, that's one that I remember.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a question there that just said, what metrics do you use to see how well your story is? So I obviously use the metrics that are just in the Meta Business Suite. So it actually shows me, like, how many impressions, how many, likes, and who shared and all of that. And then the good thing is at the end of the month, then I'll actually go in and actually have a look at all of those posts that we've done. And then I might go, well, that worked really well. I might just tweak it just a little bit. Because a lot of the times you think about it, like when you're creating content, like we all think that we need to have like a million different stories also like to share, but you don't need to. I always start with my clients is that let's work out 30 days worth of content. And in that, after the end of the 30 days, we'll actually go through and review their content as well. And then basically having a look at it and tweak it, because literally who is going to remember every single post that you've done for the last 30 days? Not too many people. So yeah, you can actually just recycle and just like tweak it just a little bit. It could even be, hey, I shared this last month with it, everyone seemed to like it, so I want to dive more into the story. And that's just another way that you can do it as well, and how you can keep expanding on the story as well.
And are you reposting that, Christine, or are you just doing a new post with this same or similar content?
I'm doing a new post with it. So I will look at everything and then, yeah, basically go through, and at the end of 30 days, I have a sheet. So my VA will actually go in and she looks at the metrics every single day. So then I can actually see how well they're performing. And then I'm like going, oh, wow, that really did well, which I like. Sometimes it's a tiny, I did one about being a grandma, and it was amazing, like how many people like that opposed to my to a business story. So I've then gone, okay, well, people like that, so I'm going to reuse that again. So yeah, there's different things. The question about what platform is best to use, if you think about your ideal client, literally think about where they hang out the most. So, it'll be based on their demographics, it'll be based on their gender, all those different things. You don't need to be across absolutely every single platform, but I always recommend to people hone into one platform first, get the expert in that. And then as you start to get traction, then you might want to add in another one, but look at where your audience is sitting, not the platform that you love. You need to think about it really strategic for your business, is like, where are your clients sitting? So for example, I really don't like using LinkedIn, but that's where my clients are. So that's where we focus.
Nick, I got a question. That's all right.
Go ahead. Yes.
Yep. Christine, I've always thought, a good story is the way you tell it. So when you're crafting stories, do you use templates, or how do you go about that?
Look, a lot of the times I don't use a template. It's more the fact as how can I interweave my story into the business and give value. So if you think about it, it's not what's in it for me, it's what's in it for my client. And then that is actually going to create a really good story, because they're going to leave, you want them to leave like the emotion that it's going to evoke for them. You want to have a little bit of intrigue so that people are like going, like, you don't want to sit there and do like a 2-hour live and share your whole life story. You want to share just a little bit so that actually intrigues people to go through it. But I'd honestly encourage people that there's not a one fit all for everybody. Trial different ways of how you're sharing that one particular story and see what engagement that you get from it. But if you want it to invoke emotion, and you want to leave a little bit of intrigue for them to actually want to follow you and to keep coming back as well. Hope that answers your question.
Yep, good. Thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.
How do you work with the, well, I'm going to use Facebook because that's the platform that I'm on predominantly. The algorithm. I remember when I first started telling stories, using live videos, I would get hundreds of views at the time that I was doing it. Today, it's lucky to get, sometimes it gets into double figures, but the whole algorithm has just changed so much that there is just so little that gets out there. So what are some of your strategies to really start to push some of those stories out without paid marketing?
The hook is literally what's the first thing that people are going to hear. Don't start off going, oh, hi, it's Christine Innes, from the Corporate Escapers. Like, start off with like going, hey, are you a business owner and you're struggling to write content? That's going to stop them in their tracks straight away. So you've already captured them within the first couple of seconds with it, and then you can go into the actual story. So people want to know, it's about what's in it for them. Like, people want something for them for themselves these days. So you want to be able to stop them in the tracks and do it. And the key thing also, Nick, that I found is that we have to post multiple times. Like Facebook has, I can't remember how many users. So if you think about all those users and you're just one person in it, you're not going to get your content to the top. You have to actually constantly promote. And this is where we've actually started to use the micro content. So we'll have the main long content, which will be on YouTube or the podcast. And then we're actually creating this micro content that leads them to that long content as well, because people's attention span is so short now. And if you're doing videos, you need to do captions as well, because a lot of people, they might be at their desk now and they're scrolling through Facebook and they wanted to look at videos, or they're, on the trains or on the plane, like all those different things. So you need to have captions on your videos as well.
Awesome. Any other questions before we sort of head into to our wrap up? This is your one and only last chance. I think there's only one last chance, isn't there?
Yeah, that's it.
Excellent. All right. Well, look, thanks very much, Christine, for coming in and sharing your story and helping us to share our stories as well too. And I hope everyone got sort of something out of that is really going to help you to craft your stories. And even if it's not your big story, it's just a story. So, and that's really sort of what's important today, is just a story. So, and the more stories you tell, the better you get at it as well too. So, if you just start, the good thing about it is that all of those that are really good at telling stories, they started somewhere where they were not very good at telling stories often. So, and it really just is a process of, get rid of all the learning so quickly at the front end. So just go and do that now so that you become good really quickly. So look forward to seeing some of your stories on these social media platforms. All right, now we do have a prize draw for today too. Do you want to tell us what that is, Christine?
Yeah, so I am running a 5-day challenge, and that is starting on the 22nd. And for 5 days, I'm actually going to go live, so you can come and join me on Zoom for an hour. And I'm actually going to dive deeper into what I've actually shared tonight to actually help you craft your stories, how you then can actually use it. And I'm actually giving away my workbook, which actually has 30 days worth of prompts to help you to share different stories to engaging with it. And I'm giving away a free ticket for VIP, which means that you get to come to a bonus session for an hour, and literally, once you've gone through the challenge, ask any questions, and you also get all the replays as well. So I have a bonus ticket for that.
Fantastic. All right. Anyone want that, or should we just let that pass? I know there are some people that want that. Excellent. Excellent. So as always, we have a special way of drawing this. So let's bring up the wheel of names. Got all of your names in the wheel of names. And we'll spin that, and one lucky winner there. So, and of course, you've got to be in the room to win. If you've disappeared, well, look, you won't know unless someone tells you. So let's spin the wheel. Let's have a virtual drum roll, please. And the winner is Jennifer Beach. Are you still in the room here, Jennifer? Let's have a look through all our participants here. Jennifer Beach. If you are, just unmute yourself. Just let us know you're here. No, I think she's disappeared. Wow, how about that? All right. Well, since Jennifer's not here, let's redraw it. Let's hit that redraw button again. And second round of virtual drum roll. And our winner is Enza Lyons. Enza, are you here? Don't tell me she's gone as well. There's a couple that had to disappear early. Any Enza here? Just looking. Oh, look, no Enza. All right, all of you in the room here. Jeepers, you're in for the draw again. So let's spin that wheel again. This is what happens when you leave early, isn't it? And our lucky winner this time round is Craig Lambert. Is Craig still here? Looking. Oh my goodness. Craig's not here either. This has never happened before. All right, let's hit the spin again. Someone remember all of these names and just let them know. Put a social media post out there, tell them the story about how they didn't win. All right, Deb Williamson. Surely she's got to be in the room here. So Deb. We're looking. Yes, Deborah, you're in the room. Just unmute yourself. Just tell us you're here.
Yes, I'm here. I've just been trying to get to the chat thing. Yes, that's awesome.
Excellent. All right. So lucky winner, Deb. So we will introduce you to Christine by email tomorrow. You can tee up how those tickets work and all that side of things there. So congratulations and well done.
Thank you, Christine. It's been fabulous.
And now we do have one other lucky ticket as well, but so another draw. So stick around for this one. You'll want this one as well. But Christine, how do people get in touch with you if they want to sort of find out a bit more or sort of in terms of what you do?
They can find me on Facebook or Instagram. It's at The Corporate Escapist, or they can find me personally, just Christine, so you can have a look. Or just drop us an email. It's hello@thecorporateescapist.com. Don't forget the S on the end.
Awesome. Excellent. All right. So that is, now we do have one other prize to give away, and that's to do with the Canva program coming up. So we've got a Canva program. Some couple of people that have been on here were on that course last time. It's not only a course about teaching you how to use Canva. We've overlaid that with a project. So when you come out at the end of the 6 weeks, you will have a project there which is working. You are generating leads from it, and we have people that were absolute novices. One that virtually had not logged into Canva at all, and at the end of the session actually had their lead generation tool that was actually working online for themselves using everything from Canva. So we're using Canva itself to do things like schedule posts, to write your content, to create your graphics and images. So a lot of this happens without you needing to do too much at all. It all happens inside Canva. So there are some incredible, amazing AI tools in there that once you know what it is, there is no stopping you in terms of what you can do with with your social media promotions, with your websites. And in fact, you can have a website on Canva as well too. So some people are using those websites as their lead funnels, their lead generation, and really is proof of concept as well. So I'm going to show you all of those sort of things. So that program is coming up starting on Monday. We'll drop a link into chat for those of you that are interested to come along to that. Highly recommend it because last time it really did sort of help sort of those that, we're unfamiliar with Canva, but more about that is how to use Canva for business as a tool that's really going to help you. But we have one ticket to give away for that. So that's a program that's $9.97. So someone here tonight we're happy to give away a ticket for someone to win that. So anyone interested in learning a bit more about Canva to run your business, just give us a show of hands if you are. No one? Oh, yes, we do. Fantastic. Excellent. All right, well, let's hit the wheel again, and we've got one person that will win that. So another round of drum rolls, please. And our lucky winner is Margaret Briggs. There we go. I think you won last week, didn't you? Yeah, there. I can see the hands going. So, excellent. Well, you are our lucky winner, Margaret. So congratulations. We'll organise to get that out to you tomorrow as well too, so you can come and learn Canva to use it for your business. So fantastic. Excellent. Liking that round of applause. All right. Well, that there is our show for today. Thank you very much, Christine, for coming along and sharing with us your wisdom and your knowledge. I'm looking forward to hearing some of your stories as well too from everyone that is here tonight. And remember, have a look out for the Corporate Escapist magazine as well too. So there are a lot of people that are involved in that. If you want your story published in that, then just reach out to Christine to find out how that happens as well too. And it really does get you lots of publicity, and helps to teach you, tell your story. Plus you get the coaching in how to do that as well too. So do that. And if you want to watch this again, it will be up on the SmashGo YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. If you've not subscribed to that, then we'll drop a link into chat. Go there now and subscribe to the SmashGo YouTube channel. When you do subscribe, you'll notice a little bell pop up beside the subscribe button. Click on that, and then you'll get a notification as soon as the episode is available for you to watch, and for the future episodes that come up the following week as well too. And of course, it helps us to get our subscriber numbers up. If you subscribe to, Google is now running ads on our Canva account, and they're not paying us for it. So we'd like to get paid for that as well too. So of course, we've got to get the number of subscribers and watchers up as well too. I would like to tell you to turn on those videos. Just click play, even if you disappear. But I'm not going to tell you to do that, because that would help get our watch hours up as well too. But we're not out of game, so Google systems, so don't do that. But we'll be back here again next week. Same time, same place, new topic. So love to see you back here again. And thanks again for coming along tonight. And thanks, Christine, for sharing with us tonight as well too. Have a good night.